In a place where no map points and no history speaks, an entire war was fought and then erased. No names remain, no victors were recorded, only silence buried beneath centuries of dust. What you are about to witness is not legend, but a forgotten reality. Long before this land fell quiet, it belonged to an empire carved into stone, a civilization built against the mountains, designed to endure time itself. Its walls stood unbroken for generations. Its people lived beneath symbols now lost, meanings that vanished with them. But they were not alone. Far beyond the horizon, across burning sands and shifting winds, another empire was rising. Forged in a harsher world, they built with darker stone and prepared for something more than survival. They prepared for war. Between them, a boundary formed, not just of land, but of power, belief, and control. Watchtowers rose, silent observers of growing tension. Each side waiting, each side watching. Leaders stood above their armies, not as kings, but as witnesses to something already set in motion. Then, movement. Across the dry earth, thousands began to march. Every step carried weight, every step closing distance. Weapons were sharpened, armor prepared, not for defense, but for inevitability. In the camps, drums began to echo, not just as signal, but as warning, and the land responded. Winds shifted, dust began to rise. The sky darkened, as if it too understood what was coming. Then, it began. Two forces collided, not in chaos, but in precision. Shields met with force, lines held, then broke, and the sound of impact spread across the valley. Wood splintered, metal bent, and the first signs of collapse appeared instantly. Above them, the ground filled with arrows, silent until they struck. And below, the ground claimed its first bodies. There was no retreat, no pause, only forward. Siege towers advanced, through fire and resistance, toward walls that had never fallen. With every strike, the gates weakened. With every impact, history itself began to fracture, and still, they pushed forward. Inside the city, flames began to spread. Structures that once stood for centuries fell within moments. Civilians fled, not from defeat, but from disappearance. Temples opened their doors, not for worship, but for protection. And deep within those walls, something was being hidden. Artifacts, sealed, knowledge locked away, as if they knew. This was not just a war. This was the end.